Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to the DGA Awards for 2020. I am your host, Vince, and with me is... Who are you?
Idly.
Jazz Hands Idly. Who are you?
Jazz Hands Idly,
Uh-huh.
sure.
So, in the last video, we did our top 5 games that we played and enjoyed the most this year. This video is going to be a little bit larger. Top 10 games of all time. And again, the reason why I separated the lists was because there were some games that I played this year that that I wanted to cover, but I didn't feel deserved a place on my top 10 of all time. So I'm like, well, how do I cover the new games that I've played, if I'm just going to do a top 10 of all time, you know what I mean? So I decided to do two lists, one that covered this year and then one that covered all time. And that's what this video is. It's an all-timer. So we had to dig deep with this one. It was kind of rough. I had a hard time trying to come up with a top 10, what with so many games in my library. So, with that being said, are you all right over there?
Sorry, I thought I lost the dog. I thought she was outside for a second. All right, awards time.
This gives me a lot of confidence in things to come. Okay, so top 10 board games of all time. Up to this point. Watch. As soon as I release this, I'll play a game that'll be like, oh, now that's going to be on my list. You know what I mean? Anyway, it happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, my number 10 was a little game called Airlines Europe. Airlines Europe is not a game where one person chooses a color and they try and get the best airlines. No, all of these different airlines of different colors are going to be going up this track in terms of wealth, how successful they are. It is the player's job to try and get stock in the companies that they think will be successful. And players can see who's going after what stock. So, if I see that Ida has like 5 cards in red and she's aggressively trying to use her money to make red better and bigger on the board, and I don't have any red cards, I might go, well, I'm not going to help her do that. That's just, she's going to win that way, So this game is kind of like, it's one of those hidden cooperative games where I've got these red cards in my hand, but I'm not going to play them yet because, I want her to help me build up red or orange or yellow before I reveal that that's the color that I'm going after. So I liked the whole economic style of this game where you've got these different airlines and they're building, players help them grow. But the points that players get ultimately is determined by the stock cards that are in front of them when the scoring cards hit. So just because you have white cards in your hand doesn't mean you're going to score white whenever a scorecard comes up. Like, you have to get them down at some point if you want to score. Do you remember this one at all, hon?
I vaguely remember it. I wasn't too big on it. I think I preferred what's it called? Ticket to Ride?
Yeah. Ticket to Ride is kind of similar. It's by the same person, actually. Alan Moon, I think his name is.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But Ticket to Ride is much more, you're a color. Like, you're a color and you're growing your train network. This game, you have no player color. You're trying to guess which colors are going to be successful and manipulate the colors, the ones that you want anyway. So yeah, this game is always fun for me to play. I really enjoy it. I love the stock cards element to it. Anything to say before we move on?
I don't know. For some reason, this one didn't do too much for me.
Okay. That's fair.
But I do like the card thing. I like the stock exchange. I didn't like the map. I didn't like the whole plane thing. I don't know. For some reason, I didn't like it too much.
That's fair. No, this game is not everyone's cup of tea. All right. Well, we've got a lot of games to get through, so we're gonna try and belt these out real quick if we can. If you want to see more of this game, it's on my YouTube channel. All right. So, what was your number 10?
Mine was The Few and the Cursed. I think it's a game that you didn't like.
I did not like this one. Not at all. I did not really care for The Few and the Cursed. So, what is this game about? This was it was based off of the comic book. You're trying to go around the board, and you're trying to complete contracts of sorts, like kill these bandits or There's these super mutants that show up at some point, and you have to stop them. There's a corruption element to the game where, by taking bad actions, you can become corrupted, and that makes you more powerful in certain ways, but weaker in others.
Hmm.
So what did you like about this one?
I don't know, man. I liked the theme of it. I liked the whole, like, every time it was my turn, I kept thinking of the doo 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 doo.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, like
Uh-huh.
I kept thinking of that music, and I loved the theme. Um, I liked that I could be two people at once, but that was just a specific character. I'm so curious to see how the game would differ if I was a completely different character with completely different abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked the shop. The market was pretty cool. I wish I used that more though. I
Mm-hmm.
think you used it way more often than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I love the cards. I love that you can it's a deck builder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's like a mini RPG too, because you can buy weapons and attach them. Like there's equipment and weapons that you can buy and attach them to your person to make their die rolling more powerful, and just their combat more powerful in general.
Yeah,
And mhm.
I'm sorry, real quick. I loved the monster killing too. Okay, continue.
No, that's fine. And like you said, there is a deck building element. So you're drawing 5 cards. Some cards that you get
Mhm.
allow you to draw more cards and play them, or give you more bonuses in some ways. But yeah, the deck building in this game was different in the sense that you drew 2 cards, picked one, and discarded the other one. It wasn't one of those buy from a pool kind of thing.
Mhm.
So that was
Yeah.
a little different.
Hmm.
Hmm. All right.
The only thing I really, really hated though was the rule book and the explanation of a lot of certain things and the map. I liked the map. I liked where things were, but I did not like how non-detailed the map was or how explanatory the map should have been.
Mhm. I
You
actually
know,
got flack for that. They're like, well, there's a map on page blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I missed that, A. And B, like, the one location on the board is cursed something, but it's not really a cursed town. It's like something else. So
yeah,
it's like
it's very contradictory.
yeah. So there were parts of the game that the rule book didn't explain the rules in a user friendly way,
Yeah, I
in my
agree
opinion.
with that.
In my
That
opinion.
that was kind of sad, but aside from that, I think the
Mm-hmm.
game is pretty fun, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Hmm.
fair enough. I liked certain elements of this game. I didn't. I was turned off by the rules explanations. Like if I were to if I were to play this game enough to understand it fully and understand what thing, then I would probably enjoy it more. But it's just
Yeah,
I was turned off initially by the learning curve and the lack of it. Like this rule was here in this rule book instead of here. Where I would have organized the rule book a bit better.
yeah.
Anyway.
For me, I think the good outweighed the bad and the ugly.
All right.
You get it?
I am now hiring for the remaining 9 entries to this particular video. So, sorry, Italy, you're gone. And yeah, so I'm gonna put out a application out there. If anyone wants to submit their application or resume to do the remaining 9 entries for this video, yeah, I'll be entertaining. Never mind, I'm kidding. She's back. All right, are you gonna behave?
Yes. No more
Mm,
puns.
okay, just checking.
Great.
Uh, so what was okay, my number 9? Is that what we're on now?
Yes.
I lost
Yeah.
track. I'm flustered. My number 9 was Power Grid.
Uh,
I love Power Grid. I love like the auctioning is okay, but I like the fact that your power plants are improving as you play the game, and I love that they require different resources to be used. So if you want to power like this power plant that you have right now, you need 2 oil to run it. And then maybe down the line you'll get a power plant that is gas based, and or maybe what is it? I forget. There a wood based. There's oil. There's a yellow something. Anyway, like there's different types of fuel, and I like that each power plant needs different types of fuel, and the power plants improve as technology improves. So you'll even get green like windmills and stuff where it's just power plants that it's free clean energy. So I love that. And there's a mechanic where, you're going to be auctioning off these different and bidding for these different power plants. I wasn't too crazy about the bidding aspect, but the whole resource management and the way that the market worked, in that as players were buying up fuel of all of one type, it became more expensive. So if everyone had oil plants, you might go, well, now might be the time to get into plutonium or whatever the other fuel types were. You know what I mean? Because it was cheaper, because no one was buying that particular fuel source. So you could actually corner the market in a particular resource type if you cared to. And I don't know, I really like this one. There was some expansions where you could play with robots. That was okay. What did you think of this one? Did you play it? You played it, but did you remember it?
It was okay. I think I remember it. I liked the card game better.
Did you?
I think I said that in the video that we were playing in, but I did like the actual card game a lot better than the board game.
Okay. Fair enough.
But it's okay. Just, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't care for the Monopoly money.
Some people love the Monopoly money.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I'm just saying, like, in general. Some people prefer the physical Monopoly money. Others like those plastic coins that you get, or the chips.
I don't know. It was an okay game. Again, I preferred the card one over this one. But
Makes sense. Yeah, this was a older game that I just fell in love with. It was one of the first games I played and learned. Euro games, anyway. My only complaint with it really is the rules. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. Like who goes first during what phase, and this phase pops up here if this happens. And I actually had to download a guide, a rule book for the rule book, if you will. There are some people that made the rules and explained them better on one sheet, so that it was a cheat sheet. So if you do get into Power Grid, I recommend finding that on Board Game Geek, because the standard rules are a bit confusing, I think. But anywho, that was my number 9. What was your number 9?
Mine was Cross Clues.
Cross Clues. That's a fairly casual game.
It is super casual.
So what I vaguely remember this. What did you like about this, or what?
I thought it was so silly. It's actually a very difficult game, and it's like pulling teeth trying to come up with just one word to describe two completely different words. But it was so silly and it was so funny. And I would play this again with, anyone, just to see how silly they can get. It's so casual. There's really not much to say. It's just a very stupid game, to be honest.
Well, so the way this game works is there's a grid. It can be 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, I believe, something like that, depending on your preferred difficulty. And each number and letter is going to have a word under it. Like on the screen there, under 1 it says day, under 2 it says old, under 3 I can't read that. Number 4 is dragon. And then A, B, C, and D, they each have a word too. So you say one word that you're trying to get the other person to guess the coordinate based off of the clue that you give them. Yeah. And they have to try and, guess that coordinate right. And if they do, it's a cooperative game. Like you're trying to, it's sort of like, there's a couple of other games where you're only allowed to give one, like code names, where you can only give a one-word clue. That's kind of similar to that. Yeah. So
I actually prefer code names to this, but this needs a little bit of recognition because it's one of the most entertaining videos that you have, I think. It's so hilarious
because we were constantly contradicting each other, or constantly second guessing each other.
You were getting so frustrated with me because
there I am. I'm pounding the table.
It was.
I'm animated as an Italian, but you can tell I'm mad there. Yeah.
It is so funny. It is such a funny game, especially when you see the other person's thought process and you're like, how the heck did they come up with this? This is ridiculous. It's just so silly. I do like codenames better, but Cross Clues is on my top 10 just because.
No, I agree. This was a fun casual game. So yeah,
I thought you didn't like this one, to be honest.
I did. In a casual setting. It's not one I would continuously play over and over again.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I did like it.
Okay,
just
cool.
not enough to keep playing it all day long,
Yeah,
or over and over again.
like similar, of
Yeah,
course.
we'll get to that, I'm sure. So that was your number 9 at this point?
Yep.
All right, so we're on number 8. My
Mm-hmm.
number 8 was, drum roll, click, Terraforming Mars. Now, this is the digital version because I don't actually own the board game version. And I don't want to spend 50, 60, 70, $80 on it because I've got the digital. But anyway, so Terraforming Mars is a game where, well, you're terraforming Mars. You're competing with other players to terraform Mars. There's an engine building mechanic to this. Surprise, surprise, I like engine building. Where you're earning like power every turn or energy every turn and green plants every turn. And the cards that you pull or draft, you can play those and they will help you generate resources or what have you. But your ultimate goal is to use the resources that you're generating to build the surface of Mars, whether it be water or plants or cities. And the game ends when all three of, like, I think it's oxygen, temperature, and water tiles, I think, something like that. When all three things are satisfied, then the game is over. So when Mars is terraformed sufficiently, the game ends, and then the player that has terraformed Mars the best will win. Now you can get victory points through cards, just through a number of different factors. There's like bonus feats that you can put points into, like the first player to do this or the first player to do that, you automatically get 5 points. That's an action that you can just sacrifice to take that goal, and you get 5 points flat. You know what I mean? So there's lots of different ways to play this, lots of different strategies, and as an engine builder, it's one of the best out there. And I really enjoy playing this one. What did you think of Terraforming Mars when you
I
played it?
love terraforming Mars. I can't even say it, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great game. You taught this to me, and it took forever to learn on my end, but
Well, that's because I don't own the board game, and I'm not that good at it either.
it no,
But
it's not that. Because I did the tutorial, I did a bunch of AI games, but I finally ended up wrapping my head around it, getting the gist of it. And it's really fun. Like this is a really great game.
once
So
you get
yeah.
past the learning curve, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's pretty good.
good. What was your number 8?
Drop it.
Drop it. Drop it like
Just
it's
drop the
hot.
subject.
Just drop it. I will. So what is Drop It? It's like a Tetramino style Tetris game where you're
Yeah.
dropping pieces.
What is the first you played this
Tetris
game with
Link.
me?
There's a game called Tetris Link where
I actually did not like that one.
okay,
Mm.
but
But
you like this one.
I prefer, oh man, I loved Drop It. Drop It was so much fun.
Because there's so many conditions. It's like when you drop a piece, it can't touch the same color, it can't touch the same shape, it can't touch a side. Like there's the sides of the board, and if a green piece touches the green side,
Hmm.
then that doesn't count as a score. So like there's so many different ways to not get points in this. So you're constantly trying to drop pieces in a way that doesn't mess up the physics. Um,
And I love that you can actually change out the
the base and the sides.
conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. The fact that you can uh change all that. It's a pretty fun game. I don't know why I didn't like Tetris Link
I
that
don't know.
much other than this one, but I like Drop It.
This has more physics to it, like
Mm,
because they're oddly shaped. Like Tetris Link was more linear blocks, whereas
mhm.
this one it's like you've got round pieces, square pieces, triangular pieces. So when you drop a piece, you never know if things are going to move around or not. Whereas with
Yeah.
Tetris Link, nothing ever moved around; it was all static. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, all right, I like Drop It. It was good.
Hmm.
All right, so that was number 8. Moving on to number 7, Star Wars Rebellion. Probably
Oh
one
wow.
of the best Star Wars board games out there. Um, I've always when I was younger, I played a video game called Star Wars Rebellion, where you had the rebels, you had the Empire, and they each had their strengths and weaknesses. The rebels were small, scrappy, and they could move around a lot, very mobile, and they were hit and run. The Empire was brawny, brute force, no diplomacy, just get in there, take everything over. And this game felt like that, where the rebels had their own personality, the Empire had their own personality. And I don't know, like I love the idea of a Rebels versus Empire grand scale strategy game, and that's what this is. Do you remember playing this one?
I do, and I'm so sad that I forgot about like all the Star Trek and Star Wars games.
How could you?
I know.
That is me in a nutshell. Star Wars and Star Trek.
Now I'm trying to find this one that I really, really loved, and that would have been on my top 10. I'm so sad.
That's all right. Well, we can always try and mention it afterwards if we remember. But
Yeah.
I love this. The only thing I didn't like so much was the rolling for combat. Like space combat in this game was all dice rolling, and it was RNG. Sometimes you got lucky, sometimes you didn't. Destroying the Death Star, for example, you had to roll like a 6 on the die, an equivalent to the 6, which was like a critical hit or something, to destroy the Death Star with a fighter. Like it was tough to do. So yeah, I mean, like the combat I didn't like as much, but the overall, like, okay, the rebels have these hidden goals that they're trying to complete, and that's how they gain victory points. And all they have to do is last long enough for the two pieces on the track to meet, and if that happens, then they win. And they can push up the one by doing hidden goals. The other one just simply moves over time. You gain heroes over time, like Han Solo and Chewbacca, whoever else. And they can be assigned to different planets to either do diplomacy or different actions or missions. This game has a lot going for it. I really like it. So,
I liked the Rebel. Did you like the the digital version or the board
I
game?
still like the video game better because it's more compact, and this game again is physical to the point where it takes a while to set up, takes a while to play. There are certain rules that you have to remember, whereas the digital game, it's still that Empire versus Rebels game, but it's all done, all that calculating is done for you. I prefer the digital over this, even though they're not the same game. They share the same name, but they're not the same game.
I see.
The Rebellion one was released a long time ago, back in the 90s maybe, by LucasArts. And it barely plays on a newer system because of that, but it's still very, very good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that was my number 8, was it? Right?
Yep.
What was your number 8?
Oh, wait.
Was that number 7 maybe? That was my number 7.
Yeah.
So I'm getting my numbers confused at this point. All right, so what's your number 7 then?
My number 7 is Take 5.
Take 5. So what is Take 5 all about?
This actually dropped down from my number 1
Really? From last year?
Friday. Yeah, because there's so many good games that are coming out, but Take 5 is still on my top list.
So what's Take 5, if I remember correctly? Wasn't it?
I don't remember, honestly. We haven't played it in so long.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played it. I do remember that there's like the numbers that you put down have to be in ascending order. Like if you look at the screen, there's 21, 20. There's 3 rows, 2, 7, 13, and then the next row 20.
A row, I think, or like remove it completely. Was it, or remove a column?
Something like that. There was actually 2 different ways to play. There was Take 5 and Take a Number. The game actually had 2 different ways to play.
Yeah, I like Take 5 better than Take a Number, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But I love Take a Number, I think.
It's all right.
But we have to play this game.
It's like I said, we have so many games, the rules get lost in the shuffle in our heads. But I do remember this game, and I do remember you really enjoyed this one to the point where you wanted to play it again right afterwards.
Yeah.
This was okay, if I remember right, but yeah.
I like this game because there is a was there a mathematical process to it? But you can like take out a whole row, I'm pretty sure. You just showed it. And you have like a secret hand, and then you can adjust the row. I don't know. I remember really, really digging this. And I really want to play this, and it'll stay on my top 10 until we play this again.
Okay. I guess you heard it here first. All right, so
it has to be.
Take 5, Take a Number. Learn more about it by watching the video. We're not doing it enough justice, probably.
I know.
So that was number 7. Number 6. My number 6. This
Yes.
is a game that I've played relentlessly. Now, this is the digital tabletop simulator version, Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. I've got tons of videos of the miniatures, but I like playing it on Tabletop Simulator because it's just easier. Stuff doesn't break, and on top of that, I don't have to buy 30 miniature. Like, let's say I wanna play like with 6 TIE fighters. I don't have to buy 6 TIE fighters. I can do it all on Tabletop Simulator for free. You know what I mean? So anyway, Star Wars Miniatures is a game where you pick a faction, then you pick ships and pilots and upgrades up to a certain point value, and then you fly these squadrons against each other. There's a lot to it. A lot of it is positioning. Like, there's firing arcs, so you have to fly your ship in such a way to where you're in range and you can aim at someone and shoot them while at the same time maneuvering in such a way to where they can't hit you back. But different ships have different abilities, so it's all about figuring out a good combination of ships and pilots. What did you think of this one?
The X-Wing. I know that you've been trying to get me into this since the first time we met.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, honestly, I'm surprised that this is not your number one.
There are other games I like better. The reason this kind of took a back seat because Fantasy Flight keeps putting out more and more and more stuff I don't really care about. Like, they're getting into the Clone Wars and the Rebels show. Like, these are ships that I didn't grow up with. These are ships that are newer. Like, we're talking, like Old Republic. And, like, I don't care about the Separatists' ships. I'm an old school X-Wing TIE fighter, Rebels and Imperials. That's it. When you start the bounty hunters, I was like, yeah, okay, fine, bounty hunter ships. But then we're into clones and New Republic, and you've got all of the droid. It's too much. Like, just yeah. I want my old ships back. Like, I would only play this with someone. You know, I don't want to play this against someone that is always using the new factions. Like, I would play this. I want my old factions back.
Yeah, you like the traditional.
I like the traditional ships over the new stuff, but that's just me.
I've been trying so hard to get into this one. I like it the best on Tabletop Simulator for sure.
It's easier, and you don't break stuff. The miniatures are so delicate.
Even on that AI program that someone came up with, or like the whole community came up with, that's actually really cool and impressive. But I still prefer Tabletop Simulator just because I have a horrible time with depth perception, which is one of the reasons why I don't drive. But I like that we can get like a straight up top down view in Tabletop Simulator. I like that you can rotate it in so many different ways. I just feel so bad that I'm not as into this game as you are.
That's okay. I haven't played it in months, to be honest with you.
You built up a really amazing collection, and I want to play X-Wing with you more, but maybe not X-Wing. Maybe I just want to play like with the little ships and stuff.
You just want to go pew 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 pew, yeah. Not actually play the game and roll dice and pew pew pew.
Yes, I do love the card system. I will say that for X-Wing, I love the card system.
The squadron building is fantastic.
Yeah,
you pick a ship like an X-Wing, then you pick a pilot for that ship. Wedge Antilles, Biggs, like Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker has the Force, so he can do special things. I don't like the fact that, like, there's X-Wing and X-Wing 2.0. And X-Wing 2.0, in my opinion, was part of a cash grab system by Fantasy Flight that I didn't really appreciate. Where, you know, they changed the rules and they made you buy all new stuff all over again. And that sucks. But I can understand why they did it, because X-Wing 1.0 had there were a lot of ships, there were a lot of meta lists. So, you know what I mean? Like, they got rid of a lot of the meta stuff by, you know, making a game that had different combinations of things. So, I don't know. But anyway, that's why I don't play this as much, or why it's not as high on my list as it used to be. But I still enjoy it. I still think it's a good game. All right. I don't even know what number we're on. I might as well give up at this point.
We're
6?
I think we're on 7.
6.
Or 6, yeah. Sorry.
What was your number 6?
My number 6. Oh my gosh, dude. I didn't know whether to pick Search for Planet X, which was my top, which was my number one on the top five
Mm-hmm.
of 2020, or Race for the Galaxy. But I went with Race for the Galaxy. And then you showed Star Wars Rebellion, and I'm like, oh crap! The perfect number six could have been Star Trek 5-Year Mission, the card game, or Star Trek deck building game.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those, which I love. But yeah, so I went with Race for the Galaxy.
Now, do you like Race for the Galaxy better than Rule for the Galaxy?
I like Roll for the Galaxy on digital
Okay.
better than Race for the Galaxy on digital. But I love Race for the Galaxy, the actual board game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the card and stuff, like the
Mm-hmm.
card game.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the video that you have is the digital, which is great. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. But I do prefer Roll for the Galaxy digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Um
So
oh,
in
man.
Race for the Galaxy, you're building a tableau of cards,
Yes.
and you're generating resources on the planets that you have,
Yes.
and you're turning them in for like resources and victory points and other things like that. So, yeah, this was, I think, the biggest hurdle with Race for the Galaxy is the iconography. Once you get over that hurdle and what each card does and what it means, it's a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it gets a lot easier, and it's so fun, like with all the cards that can do so many different things, and the buy and the build aspect. I don't even like the whole buy, what is it? Sell, buy low, sell high
Well, that's
type
not,
of games.
yeah, that's not, there's none of that in this.
No, I
No.
thought there kind of was with the goods and stuff that you have that you
There,
have to put like on your cards.
kind of like certain, it depends on the abilities on your cards. Like, it depends on the color of the good.
Oh, okay.
So, like, this colored good might give you 2 victory points,
Hmm.
or this. And then this good might give you 3 victory points, or this. So you kind of, the more expensive goods you may want to trade in for victory point markers. Whereas the
Yeah.
other ones you may want to trade in for something else, like more
Yeah,
cards or
that's
whatever.
more what I was trying to say. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, I understand.
But yeah, like all the colors have different values to them, and you have to kind of like choose. And I'm not good with stuff like that, and I'm still not very good at Race for the Galaxy, but it's so much fun to play.
I like that you pick like an action. Like there's a slew of actions, and there's
Yes.
like explore. There's technology. Like you can only do one of them, but you also get to do other ones that other people have picked. So it's like, what do I think my opponent's gonna do? It's a mind game, you know. So yeah. Anyway, so that was Roll for the Galaxy. A lot of different renditions of the game. Roll for the Galaxy, Race for the Galaxy. There's a new worlds or something like that, which is like a board game version of it instead of with it has
Oh
cards.
yeah, that's right.
It has tiles instead of cards.
Yeah, that's actually my least favorite Galaxy game.
Okay.
But I loved Race for the Galaxy board card game and Roll for the Galaxy digital.
Makes sense. I like them all. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all really well done for real, for realsies.
For realsies. For rollsies.
All right, what was your number 5?
My number 5.
I'm shocked we don't have sound effects for these, by the way. But
I'm I'm doing my best here.
oh, you poor thing, he's so overwhelmed, guys.
I am. My number 5 was Progress, Evolution of Technology. So this is like, when you think civilization, it's like Tech Tree the game. That's what this is. This is Tech Tree the card game. I love the idea of, like, you start off with the basic technologies, like level 1, age 1 technologies. You're building up these technologies in front of you. It's a tableau builder. And then using the prior technologies that are in your tableau, you can then research new ones that are better. You know what I mean? And you're constantly advancing in tech. So it's, again, Tech Tree, the game. You also have this advancement area where you can move your markers up the tracks across various categories and improve your hand limit size and other things that you can do. Again, if you want to learn more about the game, go watch the video. But I really enjoyed Progress, Evolution of Technology. It's a really cool card game.
Yeah, you destroyed me in this one, but it was so much fun though. I would totally play this again.
I love Tech Tree, the card game. Like I
It's
I
just a
play
building
4X
game.
games for the Tech Tree, and this game is centered around the Tech Tree. I love that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it.
It's like you need like prerequisites for prerequisites and prerequisites. I can't ever say that word.
Prerequisites.
Yeah, but that on top of that, on top of that.
Exactly. Yeah. The stacking, the card stacking in this game is crazy.
Yeah.
Like what combines what two cards you need for what, and so on. Yeah, really good. I gotta play this again at some point. What was your number 5?
Fantasy Realms.
Fantasy Realms. I wanted to put this on my list because it's really good. Fantasy Realms is a game. It's a mobile app. Like the scoring, you control it there, but it's all about creating a hand of cards that would give you the most points by the end of the game. It's that you're trading off cards from the middle of the board to put into your hand, and again, all the cards in your hand will score at the end of the game. So you're trying to get the best cards that combo off of each other. Like, does these red cards, they all benefit me because they work together? Oh, what that this card over here, it'll cause this other card I have to zero out. So I need to either get rid of this card or this card, and I need to replace it with something better. So you may even switch strategies halfway through the game. You might go, this particular category of card is going to score me the most points, but now I'm getting a bunch of these cards, so maybe I might want to switch tactics and do this instead. What did you like about this?
I love trying to score things, and I love just building up a huge tableau of cards and having everything just chain off of everything. And that's pretty fun. I can't say enough about this game because I've praised it out the wazoo in other videos before. The scoring system, you can totally kind of calculate the score in your head, but when you have that app to do all the scoring for you, it's just like it's just out of this world. And from here on out, Fantasy Realms and everything else now above it, every game is my top number 1. So this is actually number 1 as well.
That's not how top 10s work, but okay. All right.
My number 5, 4, 3, 2 is all my number 1 as well.
Wrong.
Yep.
Incorrect. All right. So Fantasy Realms was your number 5. Getting into number 4 category. I covered this on my top 5 board games that I played this year. A Wonderful World. I don't want to rehash everything again because I've already covered it there once, but this is a tableau builder, engine builder, where your cards can be used for resources, and they can be used to be placed in front of you to generate resources. So it's like you have to choose which cards you want to use for instant gratification resources and which cards you want to put in your tableau to generate resources over time. And again, your goal is to generate a tableau of cards that will give you the most victory points in various ways. I love the art. I love the overall flow of the game. I coined the term Splendor-like in the last top 5 board games that we played this year and loved. This is a Splendor-like kind of game, and I like Splendor, and by extension, I like this.
Ditto.
Yeah, ditto. All right, that's all we really care to say? I mean, we've covered this already, but all right. So if you want to learn more about it, like I said, our videos are on our Facebook site. All right, so I'm gonna just close that one nice and quick. The number 4 for you was what?
Alchemists.
Alchemists. This is, again, we were talking about the Search for Planet X and that aforementioned top 5 list, and we were trying to come up with, it wasn't hidden movement, but hidden logic game, hidden logic puzzle.
I consider this a logic puzzle straight up.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you've got an app and the computer randomly generates the solution for you. And through trial and elimination and testing and other ways, you're trying to figure out what color potions are positively, negatively charged, or what reagents have a particular combination of colors and charges. And you're trying to deduce this on your little logic puzzle sheet throughout the game. It's got a bit of a learning curve. And like the Search for Planet X, you can submit theories and hypotheses and stuff for points if you're correct. But yeah, this is a cool one. It takes up a lot of board space, though, as you can clearly see.
It does.
What did you like about this one in particular?
I just love racking my brain and trying to figure out what's what and where's Waldo and just like try to find where everything is. And it was fun, like trying to be the first one to find it before you. It's a clue game, and I love clue games.
It took a while for me to understand and to wrap my head around the logic of the game and how to think. You know what I mean? But once I got there, it was really enjoyable. It's still a longer game, though.
You did a great job explaining this to me, honestly, because this looked like such a complicated game that I was dreading playing it. I was absolutely dreading playing it. And when you explained it and you taught me how it works, I just ended up loving this #1 game on my list. So, yeah, great job.
Awesome. Well, yeah, this was a 1-hour video. I'm surprised it didn't last longer. All right, but yeah, it comes with an app too. You'll need the app to verify certain things as you do things through the game.
Yeah.
All right, so that was your number 4.
Also my #1.
Wrong. Number 3, I've covered this already as well. Fantastic Factories. I love a good engine builder, and this was on my top 5 board games that I loved and played this year. Yeah, for those that didn't watch that video and want to learn about this one, for the most part, you're going to be drafting people or actual buildings like mega factories and nuclear plants and megaliths and temp agencies, or people like architects and electricians. The people will allow you to manipulate the dice that you're rolling. The dice that you're rolling and placing, they're like workers it's like worker placement that way. You can use the dice to put into your board or to activate factories so that they produce things for you. You can produce like metal and energy, I think. But you also need the cards in your hand. You have to give up certain cards to build other ones. Sort of like in A Wonderful World where you can use a card instead of building it. In this game, you're going to be using the symbols on your cards to help you build other cards. So you got to think, do I use this one for building or do I use this one as currency for another card that I want to build? Anything else to say about this?
I liked the game. It was pretty good. I vaguely remember it, but I remember some elements of it.
Okay.
But
like I said, we already touched on this in depth in the last video, so I'm not going to cover it a whole bunch here, but Fantastic Factories made my top 3, which is pretty good. I really like that one. What was your number 3?
Letter Jam, also my
Letter Jam. Oh my god. So number 3's Letter Jam. This is one of those
word games.
Yes, where like I can see your letter, you can see mine, but we can't see our own letters, and we're trying to deduce what letter we have in front of us based off of the words that we're creating from the public letters.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
I find this word game to be one of the most unique word games in the sense that we have to guess. I don't know, the mechanics.
Okay, makes sense. Do you like trying to figure out your hidden letter? Is that it?
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Just trying to come up with the words, and it was a fun game. It's a great, not like learning wordy type of Hangman Guess Who type of game.
Okay. Makes sense. And it was very pretty to look at too. Like the tokens were nice, the colors. Yeah.
I wonder if they have this on Tabletop Simulator.
Good look. Wouldn't hurt to look.
I'll look after. It's
Okay.
fine.
So that was your number 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My number 2 was Wingspan. Wingspan is another engine builder that is... The production quality is out of this world. The rulebook is like this leathery feel. It has a dice tower in the shape of a birdhouse. The cards themselves, like they have information on them about the birds themselves. And what you're doing in this game is you're trying to get birds onto your tableau. and there's like 3 rows, and each row is associated with different actions. So the more birds you place on a row, the more powerful your actions along that row become. So it becomes, okay, do I want this action to be more powerful by placing more birds in this row first? Do I try and get all 3 of my different actions up equally? And so on. So, and then there's these public goals that you're shooting for throughout the game. We've played it on Tabletop Simulator. We played it at Tabletop in real life. What did you think of this one?
I remember playing this game in that video, and I remember saying, I wish there was a digital version of it.
There is now.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
There is now.
Now that there is.
And not just Tabletop Simulator, but an actual digital
digital
Steam
version. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now that there is, I'm not disappointed by it, but I absolutely prefer playing it on an actual physical board game, which is so weird to me.
Why?
I don't know. I like the holding of the cards. I like the visualness.
You don't know what you want, is what you're saying. You don't know what you want.
No, I'm such a woman, but like
I didn't say it. Don't be leaving nasty comments. I did not say that. That was all her. All her.
I'm just saying that it's nicer. Like the board game, the actual physical board game is actually a lot more cozier and nicer. The flow is a lot smoother. Mm-hmm. The digital, though, I can't knock it down. It's so good. It's well made.
The birds tweet too. Like there's different bird sounds for the different birds. Yes. Like that's cool. Nice touch.
The only critique I would have for it is that the UI is like really big.
Yeah.
It looks like
it's in your face.
Yeah. I wish it was.
It's like whoosh. Smaller. It's like Minority Report, where they're trying to throw windows all over the place to. It's too in my face. Like I want a top down like overhead view.
Yeah, like or at least the option of an overhead view. But I mean, I loved this game. This was actually my number 4 last year, but it dropped down only because. 1, I'm really, really awful at it, even though I still love it, and I would totally play this over and over and over again. And 2, there's just, I don't know, there's other games that I want to explore more than Wingspan. But I just, oh god, I love Wingspan too.
This is a great game. It really is. It's so good.
It really is.
So that was my number 2. What was your number 2?
Wax On, Wax Off.
That not the Karate Kid, the board game. It's a game called Raxon, which is a cooperative zombie game of sorts, isn't it?
Yes.
It's been a while since I've played it, but I think we each have a character and we each have different skills on our cards, but ultimately we're trying to save the survivors while killing the zombies or something like that. Do you remember anything more than that?
I remember wanting to play this again, and I wanted to play this solo, and I wanted to play this with you again, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Any reason why you picked this as your top?
I picked this as my top 2 because I remember doing the whole jobs. Like, wasn't there like actions or jobs that you can?
Everyone had different special things that they could do. Upgraded versions, and some I think were risky though, in that whenever you perform the action, you had to reveal cards, and if you revealed the wrong kind of card, then bad things happen. It's been 2 years since we've played this.
The co-op aspect, I remember it being so like nice and cozy and cooperative and like really intense, like, oh my god, sweetheart, we gotta get this, come on, man.
It was like Pandemic but with zombies, kind of, sort of, only it was a grid based board where again you've got a 3x3 grid and you're trying to clear out survivors and save them. It wasn't bad.
I want to play this so bad. Honestly, I feel like grabbing the board game I feel like grabbing it now and just playing it solo just to see what it would be like, because I've never played. I think I have played it solo, but I don't really remember it.
Okay. You may have looked at the rules. I don't think you actually played it solo.
Yeah, I think so. But I like this game. I had a lot of fun. The fact that it's on my 2 and that I remember having that much fun playing it, even though it's been years, deserves, I think, a number 2 / number 1 spot on my thing.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. All right, my number 1, and I had to use the digital video because the actual physical copy I had, my video was all over the place. It was terrible. Stockpile. Stockpile is, I love economic games, and Stockpile is so good. You've got different companies with different stock values, and their prices are going up or down, or some of them are paying dividends every round, but you don't know. And some people have insider information. Like, I know what 2 of the companies are going to do. She knows what 2 of the companies are going to do. And based on how we behave, we can kind of guess where we should buy stocks, what stocks we should sell. There's a bidding element to this. But ultimately you're trying to get like stock cards of the companies that are doing well so that you can earn a lot of money. I Stockpile. I can't say enough good things about it. It is so good. As an economic game, it's one of the best economic games I've ever played. Do you remember this one at all?
I do. I have it on Steam. It's pretty good. I like it.
Have you played it recently or just?
The last time I played it, it was way more than 2 weeks ago, I think. But I have about an hour of playtime on it.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I like it. Not one of my favorite games. Economic, financial games like this kind of like give me anxiety. I don't know, because I don't know, government or something.
Is it because you don't know what the companies are going to be doing from turn to turn? Like,
no, I think it's more of the bidding. I don't like bidding.
I see.
And I don't like bluffing, and I just, because I'm like an all-in kind of girl, you know, like if I ever play poker, I'll just put in all my chips and most likely lose everything, you know.
Yeah, you can't do that with Stockpile. Your money is your victory point. So the more you spend on the bidding process, the less you have at the end of the game to, you know what I mean? So like I like that you can contribute to the piles on the board and then you bid on them. So you kind of know what piles you're going after and which ones to fight over if it comes down to it.
Yeah. I like financial games if there's like a leash on it. Stockpile doesn't really have a leash. So, I don't know.
What do you mean by a leash?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of a board game that has a leash on, like, a limit, I guess, on how much you can spend or how much you can bid. I can't think of it, but
okay.
What was that?
All right, that's fair enough. I mean, I like Stockpile because of all the different itches it scratches. There's a game called Acquire that I first learned. Like, it was one of the first Euro games I learned how to play, and it was good. But I wanted more games like Acquire that were economical, that were more balanced. And this game is fairly balanced, I think. There are expansions to it that introduce newer things that the digital version has, and you can even buy them on the tabletop as well. But yeah, Stockpile is just...
Smartphone Inc. is, I think, a game with a leash because it has other elements that I like in it.
Oh, crap. You said Smartphone Inc.? Did we play that this year?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, why isn't that on my list? This is it. No, we gotta do the entire list over. I completely forgot about Smartphone Inc.
Honestly, I forgot about it too. That would have been like on my 6 as well.
You know why? I have the board game over here.
Yeah.
We never opened it to play it. We played it digitally on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the Tabletop Simulators while I was... Oh, my God. All right. Quick.
Is that your new number 1?
Stockpile and Smartphone Inc. All right. If I were to go through my entire list right now...
I like Smartphone Inc. so much better than Stockpile.
Stockpile Inc. would make it on this list. I would kick off, say...
You said Stockpile Inc.?
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm smart.
Smartphone.
I was trying to combine both games. It's not going to happen. It's a Wonderful World. I'd probably get rid of that one and put that as number 4.
Oh, okay.
So my number 4 is now Smartphone Inc.
All right.
You heard it here first. Yeah. We are totally prepared.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
We're rushing to get these videos out before Monday. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we're, this is not at all organized or planned. So this is a last minute kind
Super professional.
This is great professional video content right here. So, all right. What was your number 1?
Well, it's right there. It's Similo.
There you go, Similo. So, what do you like about Similo?
I love the art. I love the cards. I love it's a co-op. I love that it's a guessing game. I grew up with the game Guess Who. The little board game, like the Guess Who. You put the little people down and stuff.
Does he wear glasses? Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, this is basically Guess Who for me, kind of. And it's a fun little game. It's so quick and it's casual and it's cute.
Agreed. You can play in like 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's how.
Do you hate this game because of me? I feel like you're.
I don't hate it. I think you overhype it. But
really? Oh, there's smartphone.
Yeah, I was preparing that. So yes, this is super professional. Did I mention that? Yeah, Similo is one of those games where one person knows what the hidden card is, and they're trying to get the other players to guess their hidden card amongst a tableau of cards that are fake. So you're going to be the person that knows what the card is going to be giving out clues from their hand. It's like Mysterium in the sense that you're trying to get other players to guess what your secret card is.
I was literally just thinking about Mysterium. And Mysterium has more of like random crazy cards, crazy looking abstract artsy fartsy cards. But with Similo, it's all about like portraits, I think, and like faces,
right?
Whether or not they're animals or fantasy creatures. It's all about like the head.
The tough part here is you'll put down a card and you'll say this one is like my hidden card, and then the other person has to go, okay, is it like it because it's the same gender? Is it because they've got the same green background? Is it because the card on the tableau that is hidden, their noses are the same size? So like it's a mind game. What
psychological?
It is psychological. Like what does this person mean when they say it is like or not like the card that they just played? Is they're looking at all these different features of the cards and trying to figure out and decipher what they meant. And
the way people think is just so fascinating because it can be completely different from what you're initially thinking of, and it's just so amazing to see how people play this game, like how people misconstrue or correctly guess your way of thinking.
Yeah, because I might be going, well, there's only 3 females left, or out of everything else, so I'm going to put this down and tell her it's not a female. Or it's not like this card because it's not a female. But she might go, well, wait a minute. There's like 2 animals left, so maybe it's not. So she might be along a line of thinking that I wasn't, and then get rid of the card anyway, that I didn't want. So it's a crazy, hectic, psychological game. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. But she likes it way more than I do. Way more.
Way more.
She's obsessed with it.
Way more. I am. I love this game. Myths, they have a bunch of expansion packs, right?
Myths just came out on Steam. There's the, it's not the Egyptian, it's like famous figures or something like that. Was it like Abraham Lincoln and...
Oh, yeah, historical.
History
pack.
Yeah, history pack. There's the Halloween Spookies pack that's out. There's the Fables, which is the basic.
Yep. I think that's it so far.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them. Yeah. Okay. Well, before we go, that was our...
animals.
Oh, animals. That's right, the animals. Smartphone Inc. That's what this looks like. I guess I should... Because I completely forgot about this, and it deserves some attention on this list anyway. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and try and rearrange the list, but I'll just throw it in the number 4 slot, and that's where it is. But anyway... sorry, Wonderful World. I like you. I really do. Smartphone Inc. is a game where you're trying to sell cell phones, and you're trying to like research different technologies, and your way of earning resources in this game and action points is by the cards that you have in front of you. You have to like one card on top of the other, and the symbols that are remaining that are still showing are the actions that you can take for that turn for the various phases of the turn for that round. So there's a lot to this game. I can't explain it in a minute. But in terms of like a business / economic game, I really like this one. Mm-hmm. What did you think of Smartphone Inc.?
I love this game. I'm sad that it's not on my list.
I completely forgot. I completely forgot. I'm a terrible human being. I'm a terrible human being.
So one of the most entertaining videos I think is the one with you and those guys. It's when you were first introduced.
Scotty, Scotty was teaching us how to play. Him and his friends, and I sat in and played. Scotty? Yeah, Scotty was the one that that was teaching us how to play. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that was a great video. I think that's actually far better than the video.
It was 4.5 hours long, though.
It was so good, though. Like to see like how the game was, to have it explained, and to see like a new person be like, oh, okay, and then have it play with other people who kind of knew the game. Mm-hmm. It was so interesting, and I won't spoil the end. I won't say who won. Okay, but it was pretty good.
That's okay.
Go check that out.
You totally kicked my butt in this game, though. I'm just saying.
Did I?
Yes, you did. You were losing the entire game. Then the last round, you got like a gazillion points because you sold at the highest price possible.
Yeah.
It was crazy. You did so well.
It was planned that way.
Sure, it was.
Sure.
It was totally planned.
But I love the whole covering of the card that you have in the bottom, like the tiles that you get. You can cover them. I love that. I think that is so cool.
They're double-sided, so there's different symbols on each side, and the more tiles you cover up, the more goods you get to produce.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why you don't want to cover just one spot with the two cards. The more slots you cover, the more icons you cover, the more goods you produce. So there's a reason to cover symbols up as well.
Yeah. Like I like stockpile, but this one completely takes a dump on it. So good job, smartphone.
Wow. Okay. No, I would totally rearrange my list if I had the time. I'm not gonna at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that Smartphone Inc. Maybe I should just do top 11, or no? How about this? My top one is a tie.
Okay.
Stockpile and Smartphone. There we go. Wonderful World can stay where it is at number 4. My tie for number 1 is. How about that? Is that gonna work?
What? Then fine. Then I get to do the same thing.
All right. Then what?
6. My 6 is also not just Race for the Galaxy. It is also Search for Planet X. Okay. And Star Trek 5-Year Mission and Star Trek.
Wait a minute! I didn't do 4 games. Okay, now you're abusing the system.
No, I like the Star. You know what I've noticed also as we're doing this top 10 list? I've noticed that the Star Trek board games are so much more better than the Star Wars board games.
You think so? Why?
I don't know.
I don't know about that. Star Wars, the Rebellion is pretty darn good in my opinion.
It's very good, but I liked the Star Trek 5-Year Mission. I liked the Star Trek deck building game. What was that other Star Trek card game that we played? Oh no. It was like, it didn't have to be Star Trek. It could be like with other different themes, and it was a card. It was just a sole card game.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh gosh, now it's gonna bug.
There was 5-Year Mission. There was the I mean, I've got the Star Trek games in the closet behind me.
Yeah, this one was a card game, but the expansion was a Star Trek theme. It wasn't necessarily a Star Trek game. It was just a card. It's a very popular game too.
Flux?
Is it Flux? Yeah, I think it's Flux.
There's Star Trek Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Void. Like, it's where it's just the rules constantly change as you play.
Yes, I liked that. That was fun.
Okay, yeah, there's a Star Trek Flux.
Mm-hmm. See, like, there's so many good Star Trek games. Rebellion is great. Star Wars deck building game is great.
Star
but
Trek deck building. Yeah.
wasn't there Star Wars one too?
There was not a Star Wars. There was a Star Wars card game like Magic the
Yes.
Gathering.
Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. And then there's Star Trek Panic. Castle Panic.
There is Star Trek Panic. I'm the opposite. I think the Star Wars games are better than the Star Trek game, personally.
How many Star Wars games are there that are good?
You put me on the spot now. I mean, miniatures, Rebellion, the miniatures game, like those two alone are pretty darn good. Star Wars Risk is okay. It's not bad. But yeah, Star Trek. I've yet to see a Star Trek game that is like pure quality. Like I don't know. There's a game that I have that I haven't played yet called Star Trek Fleet Command, where it's Federation versus the Klingons, and you've got miniatures. It has the little the hero clicks knobs on the bottom. I've never played it. I've had it for years, but I've never played it. So
we gotta play it.
Yeah.
Eventually. This just went from DGA Wars to DGA Star Trek Star Wars debate.
I guess. That'll be our next podcast, maybe.
God, no.
So, hey, you asked for it, not me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You asked.
Okay.
You brought it up anyway. So that was our top 10-ish games of all time. So hopefully you enjoyed this list. If I remember, I'll put links in the description. If I don't, go to my board game playlist, and you can find all the games there. I've got all the videos that you're seeing are from my DGA board games playlist. So go check that out. This Smartphone Inc. game I think is on my digital. I've got a separate digital board game list, so you can check that out as well. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this gives you some ideas as to, if you're looking to buy games for your loved ones for the holiday coming up. These are solid choices, in my opinion, depending on what kind of people you are. Not everyone's going to like economical games or casual games or hardcore. It depends on what kind of gamer family you are. So if you need suggestions, leave a comment, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Mm-hmm. All right, so I guess that's it. Top 10 games, top 10-ish games of all time. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince and Ida Lee. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye, guys.